And the after party has begun. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? How are you holding up? Well, of course, you're holding up just fine because you're not at the Alamo Draft House, South Lamar, dealing with like hangovers and bad nutrition. And you're like, oh man, I had 3 pepperoni pizzas in the past 2 days. How did that even happen?
I have one of those Facebook memories come up where it's me in the highball at like 10 a.m. on a day of Fantastic Fest in the middle. And it's just like, if I didn't have an interview today, I'd be dead, just in bed, lying down. And it's like, oh my God, I remember those days. I mean, I don't remember them vividly except for the pain.
Yeah, a lot of those memories are a little on the fuzzy side. Like Alan and I first met at Fantastic Fest like 10 years ago or some shit, 15
Maybe.
years ago.
Yeah, what Fantastic Fest is this? Is this the 15th Fantastic Fest?
I want to say it's 16th? The 16th, I think. But we met at the second one, didn't we?
Yeah, so it must have been 15 years ago or 14 years ago. Yeah, that's so wild to think about.
Because, yeah, wasn't last year the Sweet 16 photos?
I don't remember anymore. We should know. We're holding a fantastic after party here.
All my badges are in different places all around my apartment. I'm sure I could find one of them and do the math, but it's the second to last or third to last day of this Fantastic Fest. I'm not doing math anymore.
But I'll tell you, as grateful as I am to everyone for putting this together and doing what they can do here to do it all online, and I think they really have done a great job with it. There's something about it that's going to feel a little melancholy the whole time because of the things that you get a taste of what Fantastic Fest is like. Really makes you miss being there and hanging out with all these people in person. So somebody's saying, got room for one more? I don't know. Does anyone know who T Flexin is?
I do not.
T Flexin, write your name down and I will send you an invite code.
Yeah, I get what you're getting at, Chris. Like, I think Fantastic Fest is like the most community I felt in a film community in a long time because you really get to, it's easy for movie nerds to kind of be closed off sometimes because you're just sitting there in a theater and you're not talking while you're enjoying your hobby. But Fantastic Fest, like, it's the easiest way I've ever found for nerds that are into movies to get out of that shell because everybody's like, man, did you like that movie? What did you see about that? And it's like, oh my God, these are my people. This is my everything.
Yeah. And not only that, but like along with that is all the dissenting opinions, but it's like fun. Like everyone's seeing like 5 movies a day and drinking and like being tired. And the next day, like, so everyone's just like kind of rattled and like revved up from all like the experience they're having, like the movies they hated, the movies they loved, the movies they felt weird about. And everyone has like, no one agrees completely on all the movies they've seen. So every conversation, every like circle of 3 or 4 people around, it's just always a bit of a debate, a bit of like excitement, a bit of like argument or like intrigue. Like, oh, you felt that way. That's weird. So it's just like, it's such an energetic, it's so much fun. It is like a bit of melancholy watching, like when the movie I watched last night, like after I was like, God damn, it'd be so much fun to walk out and just like go up to like your like Chris or Ben and be like, to try to gauge from your face is like, did you hate that or did you love it? Like, because it's kind of a weird one. Yeah. And like that anticipation is like, I wonder how my friends are going to feel about this thing that you could tell is like a divisive, weirder movie, like that excitement is really fun.
Well, I'll tell you, today I did something that was an attempt to try and recreate the whole, hey, get to know each other. Let's everybody be friends and meet some new people, which was, okay, this was something kind of new that you really only could do online, I guess. That was bowling night. And it was kind of an odd idea. I don't know if this is a pre-existing thing that people do somewhere else. This is a picture from what it looked like when we were playing it. I hope no one was picking their nose or something there. I can't tell. But this was even a little early on when they were still testing it. There was a lot more people than that, but they divided up into teams and then they would have everybody do crazy shit. Like one point it was go find a shoe in your house, and the computer voice guy, the guy doing this is the voice of the computer, controls everything, was like, okay, so you have to not look at the computer, which was on the left-hand side of the screen where it says victory computer, and offer and tribute said shoe to the computer and describe why the shoe is like the computer. So I had this this right here, a ruby slipper, and I was like, it's like, well, much like you, oh great computer, this shoe too cannot go home in the evening until it's been tapped 3 times. Everybody had dumb jokes, although I will say I was very happy that even the moderator, the computer voice, called me out because there's a bowling part down the side where you had to like throw your mouse up and like hit pins or whatever that were randomly scattered for points. Okay. And the middle part was called the murder lane. And so everyone started saying murder, murder, murder at once. And they're like, well, that's too many murders. I was like, you might say that was a crow of murders.
Oh, God. I'm liking social distancing more, Chris. Thank you.
That's not Matt Frank, Alec Miracle. That's Matt Foster. Sorry. Alec, one of our fans like, Matt Frank. No, different Matt. He thinks, tell us all about Godzilla, Matt.
That's it. We're going to call signs.
But let's talk.
My eyes, Goose.
Let's talk for a little bit about the big movie that I know that Ben and Alan both saw with me as well, Laughter, which played yesterday. And it was one of those I was a little nervous about, I'll be honest, because I saw the description. I went, oh, shit, this looks like one of those movies when they go, when we start Fantastic Fest, it was all genre films. But like we thought after a while, why not just films? We thought we were fantastic. And everybody like audibly groaned. I was like, oh, God, no, this is not going to be one of those where they're like, it's just a really good movie. It's not really, that weird. But good news is Laughter, the Quebecois film, is in fact kind of weird. But
I would say more than kind of. It's very weird. It's out there. It's hard to say what genre it is as far as like a genre film festival goes, but it's not a genre. It's something.
I saw a lot of people in the chat because there's a few chats going on after the movie. There's the Discord that's set up for Fantastic Fest where basically a lot of people were definitely attributing it to Kaufman-esque. Yeah. It is very weird, existential, and just intentionally odd at many points. And it is one of those perfect Fantastic Fest movies. And I'm like, I think so many people should see this, but if you don't go to Fantastic Fest, I don't know of any way I can describe this to you where you don't look at me like I have grown another head.
Yeah, I like how you said it's like the perfect Fantastic Fest movie too, because much like Fantastic Fest, I went like actual festival. This is one of the movies I had no idea what was going to be. I pretty much picked the movies I could see this week based off my schedule, and I was like free that night, so I was like RSVP'd whatever this is. And I like for the best couple, I will like go into the porch or go into the room and watch it when my girlfriend's like watching something else. And this thing started in the opening scene, and then it breaks down to like this like dance musical number, and I ran back in and plugged it into the TV. It was like, you should watch this. I think it's going to be interesting.
I can see having the opposite reaction a lot of time, but that's Alan's girlfriend for you.
Yeah.
He's like watching a movie that starts as somebody like in a mass grave of people being executed by government.
It was pre-mass grave, and I instantly regret it. It was when the mother was dying, and then there was a musical number. And I know my girl, she's not going to be into like an insanely gory movie or like a crazy. So like, and I got the vibe it wasn't going to be that, and I brought it in, plugged it in, and then it was immediately a mass grave, and I was like, we'll see. I had no idea.
So the story being, for anyone who hadn't seen this, is just the basic idea. Like, this film is about survivor's guilt, really. And I don't know if I've seen a film about survivor's guilt before, especially one that was being so incredibly eloquent about it. This character survived a mass killing, buried in a mass grave. Basically, the soldier who's in charge of shooting her either missed or intentionally missed or what, but regardless, she just played pretending like she was dead. They kept piling more people on top of her and killing them, and she had to crawl out of this grave, which already I'm like, okay, movie, you have my attention. And got away. And then it's like years later, and she's, crawled back into real life. She has a boyfriend. She's trying to live a normal life. She works at a hospital in the nursing home type aspect.
Like a hospice type.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if it's hospice because it's not that everybody in there is necessarily on the edge of death, but they're all very old. They're elderly. Yeah. And she has friendships with some of them and not as much with others, if you will. And she finds that the soldier who was in charge of shooting her but missed, lives in her neighborhood now and is, in fact, opened a bakery nearby. And she sees him and he sees her. And there's a very awkward moment. And you're like, oh, fuck, what happens next? Now, that's not even close to all of what's going on in this movie. I'll tell you, I still don't understand what was going on with the other lady.
Oh, I
still don't get that.
No. I have an idea of what it is. And it's kind of like so simple that you feel like it wouldn't be that. I don't know. Like, are we doing spoilers? This is a theory.
No spoilers.
Well,
yeah.
I don't even know if it can be spoiled
I
because
want to ask you after, but I will say definitely somebody from the Discord chat when I was like, I don't get that one. Like, oh, what? You should watch it again. You'll get it. It's like, no, I don't know if I will because one, this movie, like, it is layer upon layer. There is like 3 or 4 different things going on, like from one scene to the next. But the performances are just so goddamn good. They bring up the lead character is they have her weird in the IMDb. It's Valerie, played by Liane Labrèche d'Or, who evidently is a comedian. And originally he was going to use another woman in this role who had to bow out because she got pregnant. And he found her and he was like, I've never seen you not do comedy. And dear God, is she fantastic in this movie? Like, she's technically the main character. There are a few other main characters, but she steals the scenes where she gets the really emotional parts perfectly. And then there's some real humor to this movie.
Yeah.
Like, again, Chris just was saying, she gets thrown into a mass grave and survives and crawls her way out. But then you're laughing like the next scene. Like, you're laughing incredibly hard. And she really conveys those scenes. Like the scenes on the stage, especially, that is... When you start putting together what that also means, that's also like, damn, this is dark and beautiful and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, I really love that, Chris, like your description of the movie starting off, because it was like, yeah, that was what that movie was about, or like that's like kind of the general plot line. But in the first 20 minutes of this movie, I was like, is this just going to be little vignettes of like life and tragedy? Is that what we're going to watch? Like, it didn't like it takes
a little bit.
It takes but it's like a beautiful patience to it. To like meld into like, oh, this isn't just vignettes. This is telling a cohesive story. It's just doing it sometimes very literally, sometimes really abstractly, like really abstractly.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, like, not to sound like hoo-hoo about it, but it's like one of those, like, cinema can be like all things at once, like tragic and funny and beautiful. And like, it's scary sometimes in this movie. It's just like, just like vibrating with such like an original energy. I really loved it.
And it's interesting that most of the time the narrative is relatively linear and straightforward, but there are characters that are, it's unclear if they're even real or if they just represent something. Like there's this, I mean, and the metaphor, when you know what it's about, you're like, oh, it's about survivor's guilt. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's on the nose, but it's overt. There's a character who is just crying in one of the rooms constantly in the dark and can't stop crying and yells at anyone when they try to help her. And I was like, okay, well, that character is a metaphor. Sometimes shows up at home when she's trying to make love to her boyfriend. You're like, okay, I see what that is. But I think there is a lot of great stuff here. I was captivated by this movie, quite frankly. And there's a scene where she and her soldier who was supposed to kill her are having a conversation with each other on their front porch. And I swear to God, I was actually moved to tears watching it. It was so hard to watch this discussion.
Such a beautiful scene. I was saying to Chris before we started the stream here that yesterday in general, like I had a very shitty day up to this. I had to miss the short segment before it. And literally I was like, I really want to watch this, both to review it and just to see it. And I was like, I'm worried I'm just not in any mood to watch a movie. And I swear to God, I could not look away. I feel bad what it may have meant to my work for some parts of that because I was still working at the same time. But it is a powerful, beautiful movie. There's definitely clearly the parallels to, the obvious one of like Nazi Germany and surviving that and the Holocaust. But it modernizes it and also terrifies a lot of us Americans right now.
I mean,
the idea of what could happen.
It's taking place after like a fictional recent civil war in Canada, I think, which is like
in Quebec,
yeah. So it's just like, and obviously with the way things are going in the country, like this, the sentiment, like just having that a vague like thing, like 6 years ago, the wild where normal people had to join the military police and forced to execute towns full of people. It's just like, holy shit! Like it is like. That is another thing on top of like just the existential dread of like death and how absurd life is. Everything that is wrapped up in the movie. There's even comments about that like Civil War aspect, how quickly things that seem so absurd become normal. As you get closer to war, which is kind of like another like a metaphor for this, like life in general. Like the absurdness of life is this normal life. It's so much going on in that movie. That's really fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I really loved it.
A really powerful line for me was when she's kind of like talking about her time with her boyfriend that died in the mass grave. Next to her was I laughed a lot with him. And that was during the war. I laughed maybe more than I ever have during the war, and then he died. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
We have to move on to the next film. We have a lot of stuff to talk about
yeah.
tonight and limited time. So let's move on to, the guest I was going to bring on for that one just disconnected. So I guess he'll come back on in a second. So instead, I'll bring on for this segment. We're going to talk about here he is. All right. So we'll come back to that. All right. We're going to talk about How to Deter a Robber. And to bring this in is longtime Fantastic Fester, friend of the podcast, and guy, I've known him for as long as I've known you, Alan, if not longer. It's Antonio. Hello, Antonio.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Salute.
Indeed, he was playing that game with me earlier tonight too. And what team were you on?
I was team 9, lane 9.
Oh, no, what was your team name?
It was the Strike Eagle. No, the Strike Vipers.
Oh, y'all came in last.
No, we did third.
Oh, you're third. That's right. You got the participation trophy. I forgot. Hey, we were only second, so I can't really brag too much. A bunch of other losers with that stole narwhal for us as our animal team name.
Oh, I remember that.
Anyway, so the movie is called How to Deter a Robber. It feels like it is de rigueur at Fantastic Fest. There has to be a Christmas genre film of some kind, although it's usually been Christmas horror. This decidedly was not. This was more of a quirky crime adjacent Christmas
thriller.
Not even thriller. Is thriller the right word to use here? I mean,
it's not a comedy.
There's the segment when after they get tied up and they're trying to escape ish.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like I said, you never feel like you're watching it. Though, towards the end, maybe it gets a little Cohen comedy ish, maybe. But Matt, you've been quiet because you haven't seen a lot, and you've seen this one. Let me let you start off on this.
It gets pretty hairy there toward the end, but I thought this was like if I had to compare this to something else that exists, I would compare it to The Ref. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen and remember that. It's an old movie where Dennis Leary breaks into a house, and I think there is a divorcing couple that lives there.
Yeah, I think it's Kevin Spacey and
Catherine O'Hara.
It might be.
And Catherine O'Hara is just amazing in it. Just
in
her
divorce
insults. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Christmas movies that nobody ever talks about. But now that Kevin Spacey's in it, it's ruined. Thanks a lot, Kevin Spacey. But anyway, I can totally see what you're talking about. And the idea here is these teenagers, they're out with their parents in did they say where it was in the north? Wisconsin, I guess. And
something like that.
Yeah. And there's a girl and her boyfriend and her parents are there and her uncle is there, played by Chris Mulkey, who definitely if you've watched Twin Peaks. And they go next door, the kids, because the mom and the daughter really don't get along all that well. They go next door to the neighbor's house because they think they see a light on over there, and they're like, okay, so let's check it out. Maybe it's haunted or whatever. And they end up just fucking around and drinking some booze, and they get drunk and they pass out. And some robbers came in the middle of the night and robbed the place and just trashed it. When they wake up, they're like, oh shit, the place is trashed and now it's going to look like we did it. And in fact, everyone's like, of course you did it. You suck. You suck really bad. But of course, we know it's robbers. And they're like, we swear it wasn't us. And they're like, you're punished. Instead of coming home, you have to stay up here with your uncle and do nothing. Okay.
Actually, if I can...
Go ahead.
If I can be forgiven for another weak analogy, I would say it was almost like, it's almost like,
what?
It's almost like Ron Swanson in a heist setting.
I can see that
because their uncle and Andy, the boyfriend is bumbling and needs man lessons. And the girl is like secretly competent, but a little snarky, and so it's almost like a B plot from Park and Rec, just stretched out and Cohenized.
I don't think
Mulkey
that's
gets
unfair.
great lines.
Yeah, it turns into them versus the trio versus the robbers, And I'll tell you, although I did enjoy this, one of my problems with it was that it was one of those everyone is a fucking idiot movies, like comedies. Like everyone is a blithering
Definitely,
idiot.
yeah. Had some Ben Stillerism.
Yeah.
The way I would describe it is that this movie was almost like a Disney Channel movie if it wasn't for like a really violent act at the end of the movie. But
Well,
it was that way.
It was a literal farce. Like it's actually like a stage farce kind of in the left, run out the left side, run in the right side kind of Benny Hill style movie, just sort of dressed up as a weird little neo-noir thing.
Yeah, nowhere near as many tearaway clothing and buxom blondes going as Benny Hill. Yeah.
No, it's got a lot of fun and it does have a lot of heart to it. I think every character does get some really great moments. I do love a lot the moment when they're setting up to try to like secure the house. They're trying to figure out a way to kill time with Chris Mulkey, and they're sitting there, and he's like, and the kids keep trying to turn everything into a drinking game, and he's like, when do you drink? Whenever you damn well please, just fucking drink. I don't give a shit. I just want to play the game. I'm like,
and they are like 18, and he's letting them drink, which is
cool.
Look, everybody had that cool uncle, yeah. But like Mulkey really gets those great lines where it's just like as again, whenever you damn well please, and then honestly, the robbers, they're kind of like, at least one of them is made to be very endearing, where it's just like, you guys are making this really easy to rob you. I really appreciate that. You're my first hostages. It's like, damn it, I kind of love this. Like it is a farcical movie, but it does have just a lot of, the right type of dark humor for the farce that I wanted it to be.
It takes odd turns towards the end, definitely. There's a few like, wow, I did not expect that to happen type, but nothing too off the reservation, and nothing that, there is some violence in here, but there's nothing that's like outrageously violent, really. So this is kind of like, it's like a PG-13, basically. If you take drug use out of it, I guess.
Fuck more than once.
Casual drug use. By the time most people see this, pot will probably be legal everywhere just to save the economy. So,
and it was a nice cameo or small role for Fantastic Fest, former guest Jonah Ray, which is nice to have him in a small role. I like him as a bumbling cop. He kind of has that right where he's just kind of like too much of a nice guy.
That's what it was. I was killing me. I was like, who is that? Okay. Yeah.
And I found it very funny when they're being interrogated by the cops. They're being interrogated by the senior officer, and Jonah Ray's the younger one or the newer cop. And it's great. Like the smarter main character Madison's at odds with him. And the boyfriend is like, it's like, oh, so we were out here for doing a seance. He's like, did you talk to ghosts? And it's like he's really into it. I'm like, all right, fine. This dichotomy is kind of perfect for this. Fine, it's stupid as shit, but I love it.
So Antonio, I got to call him out here. Look at those posters, man. He's got the Fantastic Fest poster collection going on behind him. That is pretty fucking sweet.
I am surrounded by Fantastic Fest posters. If you don't know, there's only like a few of them.
I believe it.
If I turn on my computer here. And,
the Museum of Fantastic Fest posters.
Yes, and you see more over there.
We're not going to see anything embarrassing, are we? Don't go down.
No.
Don't post down.
Look, there's Trevor over there.
I love that 2012 one. I still have that shirt is my first volunteer shirt where I'm just like, I probably can't wear this in public anymore because Texas and sweat stains, but I can't throw that out. It's too many memories.
So Antonio, what did you think honestly about this movie before we move on to asking you the question, what is your favorite Fantastic Fest memory? But movie and non-memory.
Okay. Of this movie, I thought it was cute. It was cute. It was good. Nothing offensive. But of the Fantastic Fest Christmas movie, I would say it's probably among the weakest because we have had some really strong Christmas theme movies at Fantastic Fest.
Better watch out.
That's it. A Père Noël, which is Game Over or no Deadly Game. Sorry, that movie has like 6 names internationally.
Right, great movie.
Of course, the greatest Rare Exports. The best
that wasn't Fantastic Fest, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anna and the Apocalypse, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And there was that one that was it a Sono Christmas movie? That really weird one where the guy
Love and
drinks.
Peace.
Yeah,
Love and
I wanted to
Peace.
get that movie.
I bought that CD like international. Like I had to order from like German Amazon to be able to get that soundtrack because that song "Love and Peace" is stuck in my head and you cannot find it anywhere on the internet. I have searched high and low.
By the way,
That movie melted my grinchy heart.
I love that movie. I'm a big Sion Sono fan in general. I seek out a lot of his stuff I've discovered recently is hidden in weird niches on streaming services. Like there's some shit you have to dig deep into Amazon Prime to find, but it's there. Like Tag. If you haven't seen that yet, you should watch that shit. That's on Amazon
Is
Prime.
that up there?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. It's
now.
insane. But the thing is, if you go to Fantastic Fest long enough, eventually you're going to see a Sion Sono film, and you should because they're great. He's like Takashi Miike, but different. Like they both explore similar themes and craziness, but I would never mistake one of their movies for being by the other one. But I would say in the screening room right now, in the Alamo 6-pack is Why Don't You Go Play in Hell, which I still think is the best of the Sono films. And by all means, if you have not seen that, please watch it.
That movie's like the Japanese Get Shorty on crack, pretty much.
Yeah. So, Antonio, what is your favorite Fantastic Fest memory?
Oh man, I have so many. I've been to Fantastic Fest since 2007. A quick one with my friend Robert. We were talking with the director of Seven Moon, who also made Blair Witch Project, and he asked him a question about how much the movie cost because that movie supposedly cost $4 million, but it looked like it cost $40,000 because we could barely see anything, and it looked like it was shot by cell phone. And I remember Team Lee came out of nowhere like this and grabbed my friend Robert and threatened to kick him out of the festival if he kept asking questions to the filmmakers. And I always remember. And the other one was like after when we were at the Lake Line, I think it's 2013.
The Devin Faraci fight?
No, that happened later. But
Wait, what?
Oh, you don't know? We'll tell about it after it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're at the porch for some reason after Karaoke Apocalypse. Nacho grabbed. Remember back then they used to have like a announcement table where they had a microphone and announce everything.
Yeah.
Nacho started beatboxing for 20 minutes and we started dancing out in the parking lot. Everybody.
That sounds about right.
No reason.
So I don't remember. Do you remember who Faraci was fighting? It was a filmmaker or a film critic or I want to say it was a filmmaker who
Was it in the debate?
No, I mean literally in the middle of like they had set up sort of the outdoor area as like a hangout smokers area or whatever, and everyone's just hanging out talking, and suddenly, and I'm standing right there, suddenly Faraci is like fucking diving at this dude, and they were just, and Devin Faraci, if you don't know, formerly very well-known film critic, disgraced, sort of one of the first people who kind of got disgraced for sexual harassment, or when it was just a row of people getting knocked down, and
I can't believe that dude got in a fight when I was doing something else.
Dude, he got his ass handed to him in it too. We were all standing there, and the dude was just wailing on Faraci. And Faraci was super drunk, right? And I felt bad actually because I didn't really know him very well, but I didn't really like him either. But you can't help but feel bad for a drunk guy getting the shit beat out of him.
So it'd be the second time he got his ass kicked because he also did it at the Deadly Debate where he almost got a concussion.
Right. Well, I mean,
yeah, wasn't that Yui? Was he at one of the Yui bullfights?
I was not there. I've never actually went to. That's one of the things you guys who are doing this remote don't get to do is the fantastic debates where people actually get up there, they debate, but they actually do physically fight.
I've never been to a debate either. I was told though that your Man of Tai Chi with Tim Lee fighting a Tai Chi legend was evidently worth the time.
I saw Tim Lee fight Michelle Rodriguez, and she whooped his ass.
Tim League.
Remember because she was in a girl fight.
Tim League is many things, but an exceptional athlete. I think he'd be the first to tell you is not among those.
No.
Hey, shout out to Brad McHarg. He can't ever get a fair debate.
Why is that?
he's just like the one time he went up against somebody that like really knew what they were doing, and then the next year it was somebody that was like almost my size, that had him by like $1.5 billion.
So we're going to bring in somebody else too now. Oh, wait, you got something else first? Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah. I remember Ben talked about his badges. Well, I keep all in my treasure chest right here, and I have for many different years. This is the one where I got really, really drunk after a party at like 2 a.m. at Fantastic Fest. So you see the aftermath of all of it right there.
Yeah.
We have a couple that look like that.
Man.
Yeah. Me too. I have them all hanging off of one lamp that is now starting to look precarious because it's like all the South by badges, all the Fantastic Fest, all the Austin Film Festival, and it's like.
I've moved so often that I've had to misplace a few, but every time I try to put some up, it's like, oh, that hook's not going to last very long.
Indeed.
There's not enough space up there.
So we're going to bring in from the recording we did 2 days ago, and sorry we missed a day. It was just everybody kind of agreed, man, we're too tired. We need to take a break. Like no more late night, not 2 late nights in a row. But that's why we're doing 2 days here at once. We're bringing back in Terry. Hey, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
All right. Good to have you back.
Hey.
So you're the only one here, I think, who saw the drawn and quartered shorts with me, right?
I saw 2 of them.
You only saw 2 of them. That's not what you said in the Facebook chat.
I thought you were referring to the Fantastic Shorts, because that was the first block of shorts.
Oh, no, we already did that one.
We're all on top of this.
Did anybody else see drawn and quartered?
I saw like 4 of them.
God damn it.
Well, I saw a few of them. That's how weird they were.
That's I gotta hop in because I have to bounce, and I didn't see anything else today.
Cool.
But
Bye, Alan.
love all you guys. It was good to see y'all.
Before you go,
Yeah.
here's you right here.
Is that me?
Yes,
That's signature.
Oh,
signature.
Oh,
what movie did I sign?
What movie was it, Antonio, that he signed?
Oh yeah, I gotta explain this before I show it.
I am curious.
It's a small explanation. So the last day of Fantastic Fest, I have everybody sign the book, the guidebook of that day. So it's always like a barometer of what was popular in that year. So this one I have here, A Boy and His Samurai.
Oh, nice
and
one.
That one was that one got, and it's usually everybody, even some famous people sometimes. But I don't usually say like it's just for famous people. It's like anybody.
No, you ask everybody. I see you going around. You're asking everybody you know to sign up.
I've signed that book every year I was there.
Yep, me
And
too.
for a decade now, I've signed it.
It's like a huge surprise sometimes the movies people pick. Like last year, we had Parasite and we had Knives Out. You know which one got the most? Swallow.
Oh, I loved Swallow. I might have signed it actually.
Did Chris sign Butt Boy? Because Chris wouldn't shut up about Butt Boy.
I did that.
I have it somewhere. But actually, my friend Josh Hurtado, who does the Indian films that play at Fantastic Fest, he got so happy because I grabbed a Fantastic Fuse. I grabbed Ari Aster, the director of Hereditary and Midsommar, and I got him to sign like, "Hey man, sign your favorite movie you saw," and he signed. If you can see here, Jallikattu.
Oh, okay.
Which is the mad bull running around movie.
Yeah, that's a bold choice, but it makes sense for Ari Aster. I feel like.
Did you say that was a bold choice?
It was a bored choice.
I was the weird one out who did not love that movie last year. Everybody said that's the greatest thing I saw. I'm like, that was cool.
Makes total sense. Total sense for Ari Aster to love it though.
Yeah, I did.
I loved it.
Everybody was like, "Don't forget, you got to see it." I never saw it.
It was a unique film, but I didn't love it. I'm out.
Good night, Alan. Just want to throw out there real quick the drawn and quartered shorts, which they haven't done it in 6 years. The animation block, basically, of straight. Just haven't done it for a while, so it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm really curious. And some of it was great. There was like this a night in Camp Heebie-Jeebie that I kept thinking, wow, this is who they should get to make the Lumberjanes movie. It was just adorable with all these little Girl Scouts who are like telling each other ghost stories. Then all the ghost stories come true at once, and they're all ridiculous, absurd things that like little Girl Scouts might think of, like a giant cupcake monster that's going to eat them all because like they've eaten all its friends, and the one little girl is like, I've been training my whole life for this, and dives at it. Like, oh my God.
I think it would be a really good series on Cartoon Network. Like it just had those, Adventure Time vibes, just all the new block that's been coming on. Like I would really want this to go into syndication because I would love to see those girls getting like way more adventures.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would watch more of that for sure. I also really like Ghost Dogs, which was seriously, at first I was like, okay, so what is this? And I started to figure out after a while, you kind of dawns on you what they're doing. It's like this dog, and it's just a regular dog, and it's in this house, and the owners are who knows where, and it's a stormy night, and the ghosts of dogs who previously lived in this house, which are weird because they kind of look like humans in their bodies, but their faces are sort of identical, but with teeth, like sharp teeth are coming out, and they're all benign, but they're just appearing and walking through walls and doing stuff. And as it goes on, more and more haunted house horror movie shit is happening. Like there's a satanic altar in the basement and like a statue made of like bones with multiple heads. And the dog doesn't know because it's a dog. So all this shit is happening that's scary. And the dog's like, I don't know. I'm a dog. It's all good.
That sounds kind of awesome, actually.
I really dug the shit out of that.
Okay, I had to go back through the list. Instead of drinking for the debates, I was dabbing. I actually did see a lot of the drawn and quartered ones now that I'm looking at the list. So, never mind. I can comment on some of them. Except for Ghost Dog, because I started late.
Yeah, you missed Ghost Dog? Oh,
I was going to say, like, I was chatting with Tessa, one of our regulars on One of Us, and she's like, oh, are you watching this? I'm like, no, I'm working. She's like, there's a lot of dicks being cut off during this.
Okay, so that was the thing. Yeah, there were 2 of the shorts in a row that featured extreme genital mutilation, which is not a thing that I'm a fan of, no matter what genitals are getting mutilated. And I'm one of those people, like, if it's set up for like a huge joke about it, okay, maybe. If it's like consistent in a sort of like this makes sense, like it's a whole movie as a guy's being rapey and an asshole and then he gets his dick cut off as part of it, yeah, sure. But this was just, hey, look, we're driving nails into a dick.
Gratuitous.
Yeah.
Gratuitous.
It didn't really do much for me.
I like that one.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about that, but I did really like the Homo erect tattoos, which was a really cool because it's based on a true story about this guy who was burned over his whole body and kind of got really, really depressed about it. But then through the love it took his art and went into tattooing. He started tattooing his body and then became a professional tattoo artist. And it's just such a unique, innovative style of animation they did for it. It's a very sort of grayscale looking thing. I was very impressed. I've never seen anything that looked like it.
Okay,
it's the most beautiful of the animated shorts.
And I know Matt said he saw The Shawl, which is basically 2 real life gay couple to like I guess, is it okay for me to say a bear and a cub? I think that's a okay terminology to use, but it seems to be the case here, who have been together for a long time and they both love the shit out of Stevie Nicks and they're relating their story of going to see Stevie Nicks. And Matt, you can say what you said you really liked it, so
I just thought it was like, I didn't trying to think of a charitable way to say this. I liked the monologue more than the animation. The animation was just kind of filling up the screen for me.
I did feel
but I just thought it was a cute story.
These 2 people I would sit and watch tell stories.
Yeah, you could definitely just like imagine the high degree of specialness there. I don't know.
It would play well like in Adult Swim type of setting. It'd be like something I would see at Adult Swim like at midnight, like in that more venue. That's what I felt it was.
So also there was another shorts program they played today, Shorts with Legs. Now this is the one that's kind of more abstract. So I've always stayed away from this because I'm like, some of that abstract stuff gets a little like, okay, what was the point of that for me a lot of the time? But I think more than not, I appreciated what they had to offer in this particular showcase. Although I thought kind of started strong and it ended strong. And it was kind of like, what the fuck was that in between? I don't know if anybody else saw these.
My favorite was this one called Emergency Action Plan, which is a man who is always scared about shooting happening because like an event back when he was like in a elementary school, but his thing about planning eventually creeps out everyone because everybody thinks he's about to plan like a massacre or something like that. Like
Right,
he
and
buys a
it's about how the fear of violence that the media is filled with is what leads to people becoming the people who cause the violence in the first place. It's like this circular thing, and it's a really clever way of doing it, sort of like a first person interview with this guy telling his story. And it's very funny until suddenly you realize how fucked up it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually really like that a lot. Hey, Rachel's here. I was wondering where she was. Hi, Rachel.
Oh my God.
She's our Canadian friend who runs a movie theater. Hello. So I wish we definitely miss you this year. But yeah, there was a couple good. There was How to Caulk Your Tub, which was a sort of how-to video that turns dark and about neuroticism and insecurity and not feeling a sense of self-worth as it goes on. Like it's first like, yes, first you want to strip the caulk off the side of the tub. No one likes you. No one will ever like you. Have you considered losing some weight? You're like, wait, what? But I really did like some of these things a lot, but some of them I thought were just plain confusing. But the one that they ended it, well, there's one called Lusty Crest, which was a romance novel, like a lurid, ridiculously exaggerated romantic novel crossed with like, I don't even know what, absurdity, surrealism. This woman who goes to work.
Some supernatural elements.
Yeah, this woman goes to work at a love hotel called the Lusty Crest that is haunted by ghosts, and it was ridiculous, and I kind of loved it.
Lots of oil in people in that short.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's one of those of this whole batch is the one I'd probably go seek that one out. This one is going to make you laugh really hard to the most amount of people. But I think the thing they're most excited about people seeing, I know, is Mickey Reese's Belle Ile. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. It's got an accent grave in it. But Mickey Reece is apparently a short filmmaker and feature filmmaker who I think it's a record holder of some sort. I'm not really sure, but the Alamo Drafthouse produced this short film about his career and all the films he's been making since he's been in high school. At first, I thought this was going to be like a Borges type of put on, like, oh, they're making all this up. This isn't a real guy. These aren't.
That's what I thought. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop the whole time. Like, when is this gonna?
Yeah. But no, it is a real guy. I looked him up. I was like, oh shit, that is real. So it was kind of an odd choice to throw into the mix of a short like this particular batch, I thought. Did you not feel that way?
I didn't quite. It was discordant because it was like an actual it was basically a short doc on him, and it just it jarred me. It just didn't feel it didn't go with the block good, and it didn't feel like it was in the right. Like I would have put it at the front.
Yeah.
Not to second guess our overlords. But
I liked it, but it made me go like it would have been cool if maybe like you were playing one of these films in the festival. I mean, I didn't get that they were, but usually with stuff like this, it's like, oh, because they're playing like a showcase.
I did that too. I opened up the schedule to see which of the feature. I assumed this was like he had a feature there too, and this was maybe going to play before it or after it or around it.
Nope. But anyway, so I thought that was the shorts programs overall were pretty good. If anybody else had one they wanted to call out or anything, the time is now. And 3, 2, 1. That window has closed. God damn it, Antonio. Why'd you wait till 0?
One last thing though, before you go, is I want to throw out this a bit of sponsorship. I run I'm administrator for the Fantastic Fest Fiends page in Facebook group page, and if you have never been to Fantastic Fest and you want to know the Fantastic experience and you have a Facebook page, please join the Fantastic Fest Fiends page. It's just a fountain of information if you ever want to go to Fantastic Fest.
Yeah, I love it. It's actually one of the few Facebook pages that I keep notifications on for, because there's usually people posting like videos from like 8 years ago of crazy shit that happened and all sorts of stuff. Like, oh, go here. Did you like that movie? We'll go here. This other shit is here. Like, it's like insider stuff that is fun.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All right. So before we wrap up, it is time for Antonio. You already did your memory. It's time for someone else to do their favorite Fantastic Fest memory before we wrap. Who's got a story for me?
I got one. I think it was 4 years ago or 3 years ago that they finished remodeling our home theater for
Okay,
Fantastic Fest.
tell it like a ghost story, Ben.
So it was a dark and stormy night where literally it was that we couldn't do our closing night party at the ghost town because they were rained out. They're like, all right, can't go fucking anywhere. We're moving everything here. Do it. So basically they're crowding this theater that basically we're the first people to ever be in. There's tattoos going on in a random theater. There's a ice luge of doing a shot race, which was a thing. But my favorite memory for that whole night is they had arm wrestling for shots, where if you win, every win you had to do a shot of whiskey. And I just stood there for like 45 minutes watching Elijah Wood take down person after person. Literally, he went like through 6 people. After like 6, he's like, all right, this party just started. I've had 6 shots of whiskey. I might need to back away. Like, Elijah's not a big person. He's not a hobbit, but he's not a big person.
Tiny. I'm like, how do you put that shit down? Where is it going?
Although, like,
Winning 6 fights.
in a building full of 400 movie critics, he's probably done the most sit-ups.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean,
We also had a donkey that year.
He had a what? He had the donkey.
The
Donkey.
Which name is not Little Sebastian, but I don't give a shit.
Crackers.
It's Little
Wasn't
Sebastian.
it? Crackers.
Crackers.
Yeah, it's Crackers.
That was an interesting year. I know a bunch of people that are still like, it was such a weak party because we didn't get to go anywhere. I'm like, no, we literally got to tear a draft house apart with a party. And Tiffany was like, oh, fuck it, I can't take you anywhere fun. We're doing this.
I think the one year I missed the party that I was so sad about is the year they went to a cavern and threw it in a cavern. Terry was there. He knows.
No, I wasn't. That's the year I missed.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Antonio, you were there?
Yeah, it was a Longhorn Caverns. I forget where exactly. I think it's somewhere north, maybe? No, south?
Yeah,
No,
I don't
West Coast,
know.
Maybe?
It was for that movie City of Amber was sort of the thing that tied into it, which apparently no one liked because no one's ever heard of it since. But
they invited a bunch of UT students for that party. So everybody's like, who the hell are these people?
Yeah,
Like-
right. It was miscalculated apparently from everything I've heard. Like a lot of people like, who the hell are they? Who didn't really get what the vibe was. Wasn't Bill Murray there?
Yes. He partied, DJ, and everything.
Man, this has been many years of the best festival on earth from, well, I haven't been to every festival on earth, but I'm trying. Anyone who wants to send me to another festival for Examination versus Fantastic Fest, get in touch. I'd love to be able to come and review your festival.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. Matt's already, I love that he got totally into ghost mode. He was just,
I went dark for the ghost story.
did you have a scary Fantastic Fest story?
I don't have a very good scary one.
No.
I think my best Fantastic Fest story is watching the guy break up the fight that was is it ATX that starts right after, or no, it's Austin City Limits.
Right.
But we had a fight, an incidental fight in the plaza outside that was just spillover bros from something else.
Oh no.
And then I think one of them wanted to come in and use the bathroom and like get away from the other guy, and they got in a fight right in the doorway. And what's the name of the gentleman that throws you out of the Alamo?
Bouncer?
Yeah, he threw them out of the Alamo.
Wow. And when
but-
they left, in the window of their car was a hook. Sorry, I had to give it that.
Still better than I had to throw out groupies from Metallica that one year they were there.
Oh, I have one. Okay, here's my actual most treasured Fantastic Fest memory, as the meme would say, so far, Bart.
Yeah.
I
somebody's volume is too loud there. All right. No, somebody who's not using headphones. All right, turn the volume down, Antonio. That was it. Okay.
It was the year Dolph Lundgren was there, and he got paparazzi'd, and I grabbed him by the elbow and walked him to the curb. So I got to escort Dolph Lundgren somewhere for 30 seconds.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was
MIT graduate Dolph Lundgren. There for Universal Soldier 5, I think.
Everyone else I knew got to actually talk to him, but I just managed to grab Keanu Reeves as he was leaving and shake his hand and go, "Thank you for everything you do. You're a really good man." And I said it just like that. I was like, I didn't thank him for his movies, thanked him for being a good man. And was like, I felt good about it.
I got to interview him with Salisbury that year for John Wick.
Terry, you had a Keanu story, I guess?
Yeah, that's actually my story for tonight. And Ben, how many years have you done volunteering, Ben?
I volunteered 2 years, maybe 3.
Okay, so you remember how we got that rule that was like, don't take pictures with your shirts with celebrities?
Yeah, I do very much.
That was me.
I've heard that.
And this is what happened. It wasn't like I wasn't doing my job or anything. Keanu Reeves came for the first year for Man of Tai Chi. Yes. We were at the debates. We were backstage, and he was being mobbed by people wanting to take photos, selfies, and everything. And he's not going to tell anybody no. But everybody was just nervous, butterfingers. Oh, it's Keanu. So I went up ahead of him, and I just took that person's phone. I was like, "Get in, take a picture, boom. Get in, take a picture, boom." And he was done within 10 minutes. And he was like, "Man, thank you so much. Thank you for helping me out. Would you like a picture?" And of course, I'm not gonna say no. So that's why I took the picture. I posted it online. Walida, our transportation director at the time, got a little mad, but I told her what happened. But just because it kind of looked like, if you take a picture with your shirt, it looks like you're harassing them when you're supposed to be working.
Sure.
But it's not what happened, but they specifically made it a rule so it wouldn't ever seem that way.
And that evening, they went out all night and partied. He thinks he woke up the next day in a bathtub full of ice with a bandage over his chest. Sorry, no.
It says you're breathtaking. I will say I have one from that year too, parallel to this, that I find hilarious. So that was the one at Lakeline that year, and at the same year, for the best way possible, Alex Winter was also there because Grand Piano was premiering. So of course, it's Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter at the same festival. And I was at the tent for picking up, tickets and badges because you're still doing tickets that year. And Alex Winter walks up and says, "Hey, yeah, Keanu and Tim League said I have tickets to Man of Tai Chi. I don't know if that's true. I mean, if I don't, that's fine." I'm like, "Yes, Alex Winter, I don't think your best friend Keanu Reeves, the owner of the theater, lied to you. Let me go check." And I go in, they're guest service is like, "Alex Winter, yeah, of course, he has 5 tickets. Why is he asking you?" I'm like, "Trust me, I don't know." And I go out, he's like, "Oh, 5, man, I just need for me. Do you want to come?" I'm like, "No." None of the directors for volunteering were around to ask them, because all of them would have been like, "Yeah, go." But no one was there, and I was the only one. I'm like, the one time I need this, come on. Literally, Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves are still the nicest people in celebritydom that I've met, that she would be like, "You're way too big to be this nice to me, but you really are."
I would really want to, I know this is the dorkiest thing in the world, but I'd really want to ask Alex Winter, when is Freak 2 happening? Bring us Freak 2. Right?
Same.
I'm sorry, I love that movie.
Mr. T's not busy.
Yeah. No one is except Keanu Reeves, who's in that, and he was JoJo the dog boy, uncredited. So, but we got to wrap this up. Thank you everybody for coming on so late night. Thank you people for watching. We will be coming back again hopefully tomorrow night. See how it goes, but hopefully tomorrow night to talk about more the events here and the films that are going on. This has been fun. Thanks everyone. We would love to have people who haven't been on video and haven't joined us on this and have a story to tell about Fantastic Fest, or if something they've just got to get off their chest about the movies or events that have happened this year. Please, by all means, get in touch with me. You can find me on Fantastic Fiends or Oneofus.net. Any way you get in touch with me, I'm known as chriscoxcritic@gmail.com. You can email me directly there. Either way.
And I also just want to say, Alec Miracle had said there in the chat, you're a Fantastic Fest virgin. This is the most you can take part in Fantastic Fest right now for basically free. Seriously, go to the site, fantasticfest.com.
It's all free.
There's more movies for the next 2 days. Queen of Black Magic tomorrow looks like it could be something really fantastic.
Literally free to go on Fantastic Fest to go to the site and sign up and RSVP to see movies for free that are playing the fest that all of us are talking about. You can do that for free. So you should probably do that if this sounds interesting to you. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Hey, thanks for watching our video. This is Oneofus.net. Like and subscribe to keep us going. Check out all the rest of the videos we have here on YouTube. Go to Oneofus.net for tens of thousands of audio recording podcasts that we've done reviewing your favorite movies and television shows. And you can even become a subscriber there for yet more stuff, including commentaries for movies and television shows. Join Oneofus.net, support Oneofus.net, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.